In the first season of The Walking Dead, we meet a sheriff's deputy named Rick Grimes. He wakes up from a coma to discover the world has gone to hell. Hospitals are full of corpses, streets are deserted, and everywhere he looks there are walkers, humans who have died and come back to life with an insatiable hunger for flesh. Luckily, Rick finds a group of survivors to team up with, and together they try to navigate this new world and find somewhere safe to stay. But the season ends on a cliffhanger when they find an abandoned CDC facility only to watch it explode right in front of them. Now, 6 months later, and with their supplies running low, Rick and his group are on the road again, desperately searching for a new home. When they spot what looks like a working farm in the distance, hope begins to flicker. But will it be enough to sustain them? Or is it all going to die before they even get there? Season 2 begins with a bang, literally, as we see the CDC facility explode, and then cuts to Rick and his group on the road trying to make it to the farm they spotted. But while crossing through the woods, they hear gunshots and find a wounded woman lying on the ground. She tells them she was ambushed by a lone gunman, and as Rick goes off to find him, we learn that her name is Sophia and that she's only 9 years old. Just then, her mother, Carol, runs into the clearing and tearfully begs Rick to help find her daughter. So while everyone else heads to the farm, Rick and 2 others stay behind to look for Sophia. Hours turn into days with still no sign of the girl. And meanwhile at the farm, tensions begin to rise. The group is split over whether to stay or go. Supplies are low, and the relentless walkers are starting to become a real problem. Then, just as they're about to leave, they find Sophia. But the happy reunion is short-lived, because when they bring her back to the house, she doesn't seem to recognize her own mother. Something's not right. As the group prepares to leave, they find a blood trail leading away from Sophia's bed. And when they follow it into the barn, they find another walker. It looks familiar. Very familiar. And then they hear a noise coming from the loft. When they investigate, they find Sophia. And it's clear she hasn't been herself since being bitten by a walker. She looks like one now too. But she isn't the only one. To their horror, the entire loft is filled with walkers, all of them wearing name tags with the last names of the people Rick and his group had met at the farm. It's revealed that the owner of the farm, a man named Herschel, believes that the walkers aren't dead but just sick. And he's been keeping his undead family locked in the barn, hoping to find a cure. But if he'd been so worried about infecting his own family, why did he let the group stay in the first place? Well, it's because he was secretly in love with Lori, Rick's wife, and after she gave birth to his baby, he hoped they could build a future together. Too bad the baby didn't make it, though. In the meantime, Shane has been growing increasingly unstable. He still loves Lori and can't stand the way Rick has replaced him in her life. In fact, he nearly kills Rick after mistaking him for a walker. But he's stopped by Dale, who's been acting as a father figure to Sophia up until this point. But when Shane takes his shotgun, aims it at Dale and pulls the trigger, Rick snaps. He shoots Shane, who is then reanimated without a bite or a scratch. It's proof that everyone is infected and death alone turns you. With their safe haven destroyed, Rick and his group are forced to flee. They head to a nearby prison they believe will be safe, but it's clear from the walkers scaling the walls that it won't be easy. And that's the end of Season 2. Now catch up on Season 3 next time.